Hey there, welcome to ATL and 29, a podcast that looks at the NBA from the starting point of Atlanta. My name is Kevin Chenard. I'm here with Glenn Willis and Tyler the Dictator Jones on a Wednesday night before the Kings game. 2 hours from now, everything that we say could be completely irrelevant, even before I post this sucker. But this is the best time to record as the Hawks play these West Coast games. So we're looking at a couple of wins over the two LA teams. Uh, any strong takeaways, Tyler? How do you feel about Mo Gay playing 8 minutes?
Um, I wish he played more, particularly considering, you know, there's no other way to say this, like how poorly Jalen Porzingis are starting these games out defensively. Like just in general, I wish Mo played more, but I do understand people's sentiment of, hey, just play Jalen at the three. I do think Quinn is a little, he doesn't want to lean on that too much just because of the spacing issues. Uh, And like the real issue is just that, it's not really an issue. It's just the reality of the Hawks roster is like Mo is good, but he's good on the deepest position on the Hawks, which is their front court. And so it's going to be tough for him to find minutes as long as all three of Onyeka, Porzingis, and Jalen are healthy. That's just kind of the reality. My takeaway is that Quinn needs to be using Mo Gay like the Grim Reaper. If he sees lack of effort, you know, particularly from Porzingis and Jalen, even Onyeka sometimes, take him out, you know, like especially Jalen. Like I hate to keep harping on it. He got a lot better in the second half, but that first
He did.
quarter where he just let Zubac, like he wasn't even competing. And I'm like, bro, you're one of the biggest basketball players in the NBA, respectfully at your position. Uh, there are not that many guys with your level of size and athleticism. Can you please compete against these centers if you get switched out on them so that, we can make these lineups work and get out in transition and score and win the game like the Clippers? It was kind of unfortunate that they didn't play the Chris Paul, Bradley Beal's probably out for the year now, bogey, lineups because I mean those like the Hawks would have just ran them right out the gym. So that's why the game was closer. But even still, like you see like this that Clippers team's just not that talented and they really lack athletes. And I thought Mo, if he played more, could have really exploited that. Because even when he played for a short stint, like they can't score on him. He's getting the defensive rebounds. He's pushing the ball up the floor, and he got somebody an open 3-pointer. I'm like, that's that's how the Hawks got to play to win these games without Trey Young. So I kind of hope Quinn just ultimately just plays more, but it's going to be tough with how this roster is built right now.
Do you have any favorite takeaways from the two LA wins, Glenn?
Well, I mean, the Lakers win was obviously impressive. Considering, I mean, well,
Was it?
maybe, huh?
It was
I'd say so.
impressive.
Lakers?
I just felt like, oh, that Lakers roster. It's like they have Luca, and I thought the
Kevin,
Hawks were like they were on the Luca. Like they read the assignment, they got the messages from the coach,
Absolutely,
and they took it to
absolutely.
heart and did that right. So give the Hawks tons of credit for that. Every other player on the Lakers roster, my God, like I don't need to see Jackson Hayes ever play basketball. I just don't need to see it. I get nothing out of that. Like
No,
I don't know. I just
I
don't
mean,
think there's that much
Kevin,
talent on that roster. Like they couldn't complete a pass. Like they just couldn't get from A to B with the ball.
yeah, that's because the Hawks defense did that to them. Like,
Okay.
because like Brad was saying this too, and I'm like, have you watched the Lakers play other teams where they're getting everything they want? Like where Luca's going for 40. Dyson Daniels made Luca quit in the third quarter.
Yes, he did.
Okay. That is impressive. He took him completely out of his game for the entire game he was out on the floor. It didn't matter if he was scoring or not. He didn't want no part of Dyson Daniels, and he basically quit on the game. Oh, the Hawks win by 20 points. Oh, it's not impressive. That Lakers team isn't that good. I'm like, Ain't nobody stopped them yet. They went and dog walked the Hornets. They're probably going to win tonight. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm watching this Magic team walk the Knicks down here. They're up by 15 points late in the fourth quarter. They're probably going to pull this out and win by double digits. The Hawks beat them twice. Like, these are impressive wins. Like, put some respect on these guys. Like, I know Trey's not playing. People want to be so sensitive when people are like, "Are the Hawks better without Trey?" Like that, I don't care about that. Right now, without Trey Young, just in general, the Hawks are playing good basketball.
The Hawks are not better without Trey Young. They're just different without Trey Young, right? They swing way towards defense, and I mean, I on my Patreon I put down a bunch of offensive clips of the Clippers game, them lifting players and the ball off the floor, creating cutting lanes, the motion, the constant motion. And the Clippers are an old team, man. They were like, man, they looked like they were getting winded, kind of dealing with all that motion and movement and all that. And I mean, for me, the one, it's great to see these wins, but how well Dyson's playing on both ends right now is just really, really, really impressive. It's really, really impressive. The assist numbers he's putting out, he's playing under control, he's making good decisions with the ball. And and you can tell he worked on some of the new stuff in the offseason, and he has a broader skill set this year than he had last year. He still likes his little spin move, he still likes his floater. But last year, when he gets stuck in the middle of the floor and not where to go, he would kind of freeze and not know what to do. Now he just waits for somebody to cut. He'll just wait for somebody to cut or someone to move or someone to get an exit action screen in the corner or whatever it is. He knows what he's doing. He's a professional point guard, right now, and it's just really fun to watch and impressive to me.
Yeah, I'm whatever the Hawks need to do to make him the point guard for, right now, the majority of the minutes. And when Trey comes back, all of the non-Trey minutes would be fine with me. Like I just that's what I want to see. It's amazing that he has the energy and the stamina to do what he's doing on the defensive end and do that on offense. It's remarkable. Like you said, when he gets in the middle of the floor and he gets stuck, like he's keeping the play alive better. Like he's not discontinuing his dribble as early so that he has the options to keep the play alive, which is, it's just really impressive. And the passing is there. Like he's not committing turnovers. Like he's forcing turnovers on one end and then running the offense, getting the ball to all the right places and not committing turnovers on the other end. So you know, it's a non-controversial topic, I suspect, right? We all just think Dyson Daniels is really good.
I mean,
Very good.
he's been the architect of these wins. Like where you pair his defense next to the fact that when he's in the game running the offense looks good. I think they're scoring pretty well with him as a start nominal point guard. That's where it's like things get a little interesting. But like just in the short term right now, like to me, I'm watching Dyson. I'm like, man, the second Dyson realizes that it actually doesn't matter if you're inefficient as the lead ball handler, just as long as you're getting the shot up and you're not, as long as you're keeping the ball moving and getting shots up and like being a threat, like defenders will guard you differently. Like he's really close to like I think really breaking out even more than what he did, last year. Like it's there for him because something that is I think really important for the Hawks right now is that teams don't press up on him at all. Like they concede space. They don't press him up the full length of the floor. That allows him to get the ball up the floor quickly and get the Hawks into their offensive set faster than when Trey's bringing the ball up. So this is something. And when they do press him up, because the reason why they don't press up on him is because he's blowing right by them. Like, and so that's where it's like we may have something here. He just needs to. I want. I was like, I feel like we're like 5 or more games of Dyson realizing, hey, it's okay for me to score. It's okay for me to shoot this shot. It's okay for me to take a bad jumper here or there. Like, if I'm going to be the guy controlling the offense, I gotta keep defenses off. Honest a little bit more. Once he realizes that then we're going to the next stage. Then we're really cooking with him. So I've been super impressed with Dyson. He's like been incredible, and like I'm hoping this continues for him.
Yeah, I mean the little curiosity that pops up is like, is he gonna be an all-star? Like, I mean, he's playing, he's playing
Yeah,
really well. Have to see it sustained. There's some I guess some injury luck, bad luck. Several normal all-stars out this year, not playing, so there's probably a little bit more space for him there. But that'd be cool to see him make the all-star game this year.
he's playing at an all.
Even though I never watch it.
I mean, agreed, Glenn. I'm not going to watch the game, but he's playing at an all-star level. Whether he makes it or not is irrelevant to me
What's the
personally.
defense going to look like if he plays in the All-Star game? Is he just going to be like, "Hey, go ahead and score"? Is he going to lock in if he makes it?
What show was it? I can't remember what it was, Sesame Street or one of those, like, which of these is not like the other. That's how it looks.
Yeah,
Like,
I kind of want to see it now. I want to see what that looks like. Like how crazy does he approach defense in the All-Star game? That would be something to see. Like imagine like he'd be like a national phenomenon just for trying to do that. Like
yeah.
who is this guy trying to do this in an
And he's
All-Star
getting
game?
dirty looks from everybody else on the floor. Like, dude, chill out, man.
What do we think of Zachary Rizache actually finishing a game?
I mean, apart from the try for some reason trying to take a shot with 10 seconds on the clock or whatever it was, like, Zach, come on, man, we need to pull the ball out and run the clock here, have somebody get to the free throw line. So I guess that's a learning moment. I wonder, like, the next day, if they looked at film, if everybody just gave him a whole bunch of crap for that. It's just like, man, that is not what we do in that situation. But he was really good defensively against the Clippers too. He did a great job when his man would go screen. They try to kind of force those switches. In the first quarter, they could not keep Veet off of Harden, um, but they got that fixed by the second half. The second half, they stopped going all the way to the level, and they would stay about 2 steps away from the level, and the Dyson just kind of work around it. But Zach was the one exception. Zach would get even in the second half, would get all the way to the level, impact Harden, make Harden stop, take a step back, let Dyson get back in front. So, I mean, his defensive technique is great, but it was he needs to play late in games sometime. He's never going to learn, like, this is how the end of the game works if he's not in on the floor in those situations. That was a terrible decision. I mean, hands down, terrible decision. But I'm sure he'll learn and grow from it. But I'm also sure that he got a little bit of grief from teammates and coaches and everything, because that's not what you're looking to do there.
Thoughts on that one, Tyler?
I mean, he's been good. I thought the defense was good throughout the game. It was good to see him leverage his length and size on some of these drives where he was like conceding Derrick Jones' left hand because he knew Derrick was never going to go back to his right and timing him for blocks, and he did it a couple times. And I thought that was like that's how you got to defend in the NBA. Like these guys are just too good. You can't play them straight up. You got to cheat when you can against certain players. I just think overall he's been pretty good for the last couple games outside of that last 30-second stretch where I don't know what happened to him. Like, I think he just wasn't thinking. Yeah, it's just one of those things where you haven't been in that situation before. You don't realize all that matters is pulling the ball out. So luckily it didn't. By the way, the end of the game for the Hawks Clippers, the only thing I took away is like this is why clutch data. It's a
Super
coin flip.
noisy,
Like it's
super
like
noisy.
it's like you can play as bad as the Hawks did and still somehow win the game. As poorly as they executed um, all facets of the game, like they still found a way to pull it out. So that's where I just think more experience and just him playing more. Even though like he made a clutch three late in the game that kind of you know pulled them ahead a little bit more. So hopefully he gets more opportunities. Is kind of my takeaway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that three was when Anyeka had the ball like near the left 3-point break, and Zach with the right 3-point break over into the DHO, and then Congo screened was Derrick Jones, I think, that was chasing Zach on that play. Great screen, and that was the first example of like movement shooting. I remember that was actually movement shooting on that play. If you can add that to the mix, and that's just another source of him, getting 3-point volume up. But that was a really nicely executed play.
And that's the other reason why, just in general, Zach probably needs to play more. Is like he's one of the only guys who's getting 3-point volume up right now, just in general, because he has the size and length to do it fairly consistently. And it's good to see Veet do it as well. I wonder if they finally yelled at him and be like, yo, you either shooting this ball or you're not playing ever again. And so he just realized, like, I'm in the game to shoot the basketball. Like that's why you're in. You're not Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard can get away with his efficiency grift because he's hyper efficient and he has a handle. Uh but he's also short. You're like 6'8". You just got to shoot over the top of these guys, and like we'll live with the results because we need you for 12 to 15 minutes a night, getting shots up, and then giving us some ancillary passing if it's there. But he's got to be like V in particular has to be aggressive when he's in the game because his defense just isn't good enough, to just be like a role player out there. If it, just a guy who's like just being a cog in the machine. Like he's got to look for a shot way more.
How did we lose Veet, the defender? Because it felt like for a while, like there was like a month where it was like, okay, Veet can do some things on defense. But were all those things just like guard the ball, pressure the ball, and they just haven't needed that as much with Dyson, and so they cast him in a different role on defense, and he's not suited for that. He's not strong enough. Is there something else I'm missing? Like, because like
He's older.
Veet should be able to be in an NBA rotation. Like, maybe not the Hawks, maybe not this year if they're healthy, but like he should be good enough. But it's just felt like when he's out there on defense, like for 2, 3 months now, it's just been the whole preseason, every regular season game, like the defense is just disheartening, I think.
Because it's well, one, he's not as on ball as he was. That's probably his best skill.
Right.
And like off ball is just not good enough. Like it's just like a lack. You feel his lack of physicality off ball, and combined with he's not as attentive as he needs to be considering his physical limitations. Like there's too often where he's out of position, and it's like, yo, again, it goes to my point. Like V, you can't be out of position. You can't be the worst defender on the floor. So that's where I think it is. But I also do think there might be some he's older, he's lost a little bit more athleticism. Uh, he's never he's never the strongest guy. So it's always harder for the lighter. If you're not strong, you're not a good athlete, which Veet's like okay, but for an NBA player, he's probably like slightly below average. So he just doesn't have many outs to be good on defense.
Yeah, I also wonder sometimes too if he still deals with anything from that back injury last year, if that's
Yep.
impacting him.
Yep.
Because that was a rough injury. That was a really rough injury for him. So I'm just curious about that too. But yeah, I mean, when he gives you that kind of offensive performance, you still want to expect more defensively from him for sure. So be in the right place at the right time, shade your help, communicate, be connected, all those. At least you want those basics, right? And he needs to be better in those areas.
The Hawks did a good job of getting him out of bad situations in the second half. Like they were covering for him well. Um, Shoot, I had a question. Oh, I know what it was. Glenn tweeted this week about what the offense looks like now without Trey and how it's changed and how they get bodies up the floor so that there are angles to, back cut to the rim and things like that. Do we, sometimes we ding Quinn. Do we give Quinn credit for this? Is this something that they did on the fly? Do you think this is something that they had planned this year for the non-Trey minutes? Like maybe like here's what it's going to look like with Onyeka and Dyson when Trey goes to the bench. Like how do you think this came about if you had to make a wild speculative guess?
Well, I mean, to start with, I think Quinn just believes in this stuff. He believes in motion and pace and movement and all that sort of stuff. But on the other side of it, you don't want to completely take Trey away from the things he's best at too. So there's probably a mashup of when Trey's on the floor, it's probably a bit of a mashup of all of this plus enough pick and roll and enough, stuff that Trey excels in. And now, like, they really don't run any pick and roll right now. Really, I mean, I love the 4-5 at the nail. Jalen's running it with Nyeka. That's a nice little wrinkle. It's really more X action, but it's functionally a pick and roll. But yeah, I mean, Porzingis and Nakongwu and Jalen they're all above average passers for their position, all three of them. And up the floor, they can execute any pass. And as long as everyone else is moving and cutting and setting up their defender and all that sort of stuff, then that's going to be there all the time now. But if you gave Quinn truth serum and asked him like, is this the offense you really, really want to run anyway? But like I said, you have to account for Trey's strengths in some capacity as well and balance that out. But I mean, what they did to the Clippers after the first quarter, they had a really rough offensive start. But after the first quarter, what they did to the Clippers, they just smoked them. Like they just smoked them like the rest of the game on that end of the court. So it's I don't know. To me, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like I can't speak to why Quinn is going this way or anything like that. I'm not an X O guy. I just think Quinn is Quinn's a great coach. Like I want to be clear about that. Our issues are granular to winning and losing on the NBA floor. We complain about stuff because it bothers us, but that's not why the Hawks are winning and losing games. Ultimately, it comes down to talent and execution, often than not on a night to night basis. And like Quinn, like Glenn said, Quinn believes in this stuff, and I think it plays to these guys' strengths. Like this is a big wing team with a lot of good like downhill drivers now, and so getting these guys off the catch and catching and going is good for them. It generates those paint touches, generates free throws, and it frees up. Ultimately all this stuff does is it forces the defenders to play tighter on mediocre shooters, and so like that opens up the floor for Porzingis as well. So it's a boon for how the Hawks are built and how they want to play. So
Yeah, and it's
again,
just a lot of little things like they never have anyone in the dunker spot. You know how hard it is to get your floater when somebody's in the dunker spot? Like just all these little details like that. In transition, like a couple of Veets threes came in transition. He did a great job. He and Dyson were on the same left side of the floor, and Veets sprinted to the corner. Dyson went to 3-point break. Then Dyson screened down to the guy who was going to close out on him. And so, I mean, the attention to detail is just really impressive. But Quinn is just not letting stacking guys on the lower third of the court offensively, and it's creating way more space. It simplifies Dyson's job a lot to not have so many defensive bodies in the paint when he's trying to kind of break the paint and get his floater or what have you. So it's just having people in helpful spots, not having them in spots that make it hard for your ball handler is kind of just step one to that to me. And you'll still see the Knicks will leave Mitchell Robinson in the dunker spot like every offensive possession he's on the floor, and it's got to make Brunson's job harder just because like he's trying to kind of get to his spot there. Hawks never do that. The Hawks never put anybody in the dunker spot. Now that Clint's not on the team anymore.
Right. The the Clippers game featured another game where they're down double digits in the first 5 minutes of a game. That's happened 4 times this season in 11 games. If you go for the whole first quarter, they've been down double digits 7 times in 11 games. A lot of those games have been the Porzingis, Jalen Johnson starts. Is there a correlation there? Is it real simple? Like, am I missing something?
I don't know. For me, I thought with the Clippers game, I just thought like in the first quarter they drove right into Zubac like 6 times. I'm like, what are you doing? This was not the plan at all. That is not what we want. And then I think Quinn called a timeout and I think he got that fixed and said, stop driving into him, man. You have no shot to get to the rim when he's in front of the rim. And so the whole rest of the game they basically played Porzingis and Yeka above the 3-point line, and pulled him up the floor, and he looked very frustrated by that because he couldn't just play straight drop. So I think Quinn was like, "We're gonna get everybody up the floor. We're gonna create space. We're gonna get him away from the rim, and then we can get to the rim." And so I think Quinn fixed that. It's like we can't spend the whole game driving in this guy. The dude's a monster at the rim defensively. And so, they got it fixed, which is good. But I mean, Zubac is so freaking good defensively. He just takes up so much space. He has great feel, great timing. And so I think they were like, we got to get him out of the way. We got to get him out of the paint, And then once they did, they all their cutting lanes, all of that stuff opened up, and they were able to be more productive and efficient.
What do you think of the slow starts, Tyler?
I mean, defensively, it's Jalen and Porzingis not rebounding. Like it's pretty simple. I thought after that first stint, Porzingis was way more physical on Zubac, wasn't conceding ground, and was competing way harder. Same with Jalen, and that really helped the Hawks. Just get stops, get out in transition, and play their game. So that's really where it comes down to. Like we've kind of talked about this with Porzingis. Like some of this is like I wonder, like, does he need to change up his warm-up routine? I'm pretty sure he has a different warm-up routine based on, his illness. So
Yeah. I mean, I can. I mean, from what I've observed, like, the teams usually come onto the floor like 10 minutes before the actual tip to do their sort of team shoot around, not the individual stuff that they do an hour before the game, but like when they all just come out for that last 10 minutes before tip and they all shoot, like everybody's out there but Kristaps. Like he'll come out like maybe 3 minutes before tip. Like he's usually the last one, that I don't know if that's by design, if that's to accommodate, whatever illness he has, if they just feel like there's a certain massage, stretch, whatever it is that works best for him. But there definitely is something different for him compared to the rest of the team. Like he doesn't come out with them.
yeah, I mean, I think he's just going to have to figure out, what works for him ultimately. Like it's just going to be trial and error. But again, because like again, after that first thing, he was terrible. Like he was really good. Like he was a big reason why they won the game. But it's just these early stints are like putting the Hawks behind the eight ball consistently, and then then they're like, all right, Mo, bail us out here. So that's not the best. If to me, I'm like if Porzingis can start playing better, this Hawks team can really take off here. Because I do see an opportunity for this team. This is a very good basketball team, even without Trae Young right now. If they can get Porzingis online, figure out his first quarter, foibles, whatever they are, this is a very good basketball team that's deep and full of like good back two-way players in particular. So like hopefully he can get it together because him and Jalen in particular, just because they're so talented. Like they're just so physically gifted. You feel like you're not getting as much as you want from the both of them. You're not getting the even B minus B outcomes from them. You're getting like C minus D pluses from the both of them too often in early part of the season. So hopefully they can pick it up and the Hawks can really start taking off here.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking for headed into this back-to-back with Sacramento and Utah?
Is Nikhil playing tonight? I haven't had a chance to
Yes,
look at all
Yeah.
this.
he's officially been
Okay.
listed as available.
Okay, that's great. And then Monk, Levine, and Keegan Murray are out on Sacramento side. So I mean, for me, it's just continue to play hard, continue to play together, continue to push the pace, and just stay focused on the task. Which gets that rough start against the Clippers. It does feel like deja vu, kind of a little bit, and stuff. So that they got to get that figured out. Whatever's causing it, they got to get that figured out. I don't know what it is, but I mean, these are two games they should absolutely win in my mind. Sabonis is a handful. He's very physical. So it'll be interesting to kind of see, and he's good passer. He's good at getting to the rim, all that sort of stuff. But not to deal with him, I don't know where a lot of the other offenses have come from. But these are two games. They should win these two games in my view.
Just I want to see them continue their good form here. Particularly Dyson. Can he keep this up? Because he's playing. I feel like he's playing some of the best basketball of his career right now, and so I want to see him continue to do so, to really build up his confidence to, recognize he's one of the best basketball players in the world. Like I really believe that. And I want him to understand that. So like, not be afraid of the moments, not be afraid to take shots when you're open, find a 3-point line, particularly when it's catch and shoot. That's really the thing he needs to just get over. Like he was better at that last year. I think there's just some hesitancy going on right now. Hopefully he can, these are the type of opponents and the type of games where you just got to let it fly in particular, so that you can get that confidence built, so that when the games get against better opponents, against, more serious, opponents you're expecting to play in the playoffs, or maybe even in the postseason, you're not afraid of the moment there. Because that's what these end of games have felt like, a bit of, I've never been here before. Trey's not here. My teammates are relying on me to get us into these sets. And I thought he did some good stuff, like even with him not shooting the ball, like the way he was getting James Harden switched on to Jalen, where they a couple times, and Jalen kind of took advantage when he wasn't settling for the jump shot. That, where he's being super physical, forcing the switch, and then getting Jalen the ball in a prime position to score. Like that's stuff he can do as a bigger player. And so like I want to see him, really, continue to build off that, and this Hawks team to build off that. And hopefully they can win these next two games. But nothing's guaranteed in the NBA. It's possible they play a decent game and still lose here. It's just the reality. It's just reality of the sport. Like every team is super talented. That's like my biggest takeaway from just this season in general. Watching all these teams, like every team is like, the teams that are underperforming are all saying the same complaint. Like we got so much talent, we shouldn't be losing. And I'm like, guys, every team is talented. Every team is talented. And the biggest takeaway from the Pacers making it to the finals in the Thunder are teams getting younger, bigger, more athletic, playing harder, more consistently. Like, and you're seeing that night to night. And so, like, if the Hawks come out, like if the Hawks come out with a lackadaisical attitude, being like we're the more talented team here, the Kings got, Westbrook's a prideful guy. Like he'll still give it to you if you don't take away what he wants to do best. Uh, so like we'll see what that about that. And then the Jazz run a good offense. Like you got to be prepared for all their stuff. Like they will, and in that arena, in that altitude, like things can get really tough, even for the best teams. So, these two games aren't guaranteed, but I'm with you, Kevin and Glenn. I think they should win both of them.
Well, I don't. I mean, I don't. I wouldn't. I think the Utah game's a little bit of a crapshoot because it's going to be the third game in 4 nights for both teams. I feel like the Sacramento game is the one that, like, if you're a serious team, that's a game you win. They played last night. They're kind of disorganized. They're kind of changing the plan on the fly, trying to shoehorn in Precious Achua. Like, I think that's the one that they should win. Like, how do you guard DeRozan when he's playing next to Achua and Sabonis? Like, how do you want the Hawks to match up sort of personnel wise if they play their usual starting lineup?
I mean, I want Dyson on Verizon, and then Keaton can deal with Schroeder, I guess, and then we can kind of go from there. Because DeRozan's, man, he's masterful at getting to his. He has 3 spots on the floor he loves. I'll after the game, I will show a play where he's playing at each of those 3 spots. Those are the 3 spots he's trying to get to all the time. Dyson knows it. Dyson knows what the 3 spots are, and can kind of keep him out of that, and let Keaton deal with
Nikhil.
Schroeder. Yeah, and Nikhil as well. Yeah, Nikhil, you got Nikhil there as well. So, I mean, again, hashtag not an NBA coach, but I think Dyson on DeRozan makes the most sense.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about here?
Ready to watch the
Leaving
basketball.
anything off?
Pelicans are in trouble.
It's
Oh,
funny. I almost went to that. That's funny.
but just I guess the big news of the day in the NBA in general is Mavericks firing Nico finally, which you know, on one hand, I kind of respect the willingness to try something, but like to destroy like your NBA isn't just about winning. Like this is a, these fans, it's a community, right? And for him to completely wreck the Dallas Mavericks community over an ego trip with Luca is ridiculous. And so like I don't feel bad for the guy. I do. I mean, I respect it. I just, if you were smarter about it, that's probably the bigger issue. Like trading Luca, I can understand. Even though, like, you do that, you're going to be persona non grata in Dallas. Like, you just are like he is. He was going to get his statue retired. He's probably going to go down as the greatest Maverick of all time. For you to do that, um, and to do it for a worse basketball player who's older, like it's just like
Yeah, and it's funny. People are singling him out, and that's his job. He was the GM, right? He was the GM. But that people up and down the org had to sign off on that.
yep.
Nico doesn't do that by himself. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Absolutely not.
Jason Kidd signed off on it. Like I do think the relationships got so bad towards the end there that everybody was just tired of babying Luca. And I can on some level I get that. But it's not about you. It's not about your relationship. It's about ultimately that you're selling the sport to your fans. And Luca was great to the fans. And he consistently competed and he consistently put on shows. And like, you gotta at some point you gotta trust a great player is gonna figure it out. So that's where it's like for them to punt on an older basketball player who's not as good, it's just oof. I genuinely feel bad for Dallas fans. Like that would break me if I were a fan.
I started when I saw the tweet. I was like, oh man, this wait, this can't be the real Shams. Is this the real Shams? It's like, like what?
Couldn't believe
Crazy.
it. Yeah.
And yeah, and my good friend Lauren Gunn is she would say she's still in therapy over it.
I don't blame her.
All right then. On to these two games, and thank you for joining me tonight, and we'll have to do it again soon. Thanks, and good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob.
Bye, Bob.